Hello, this is Rick. Hi. Hey, yeah, well, listen, I'm not used to doing this. Is this really working? Hi, yeah, well, hello from Key West, Florida. I've been trying to upload something on my other computer, but it just doesn't want to go. It gets to like 60 something percent and then it won't go any further. And it could be maybe these people have a good look see at what I'm doing. But, anyways, um, last night, and for a few days, every now and then I get myself caught up going into the computer and chatting with. I'm gonna walk around, chatting with people. This is a giant poinsettia tree behind me. I'm out here in the cemetery. Here, I'm gonna let you see it. Dun, 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 dun. Can you see all that? It's a beautiful little place. When I first came into town, this is where I worked with a mess of retarded citizens. Of course, nowadays they call them remarkables. They're remarkables, and they are remarkable. A good number of them have changed since then, but I used to run around out here in the cemetery cleaning this place up and mowing and weed whacking and stuff like that, getting rid of Santa Teresa. Down here there's a whole lot of that garbage. We used to consider ourselves like white knights, coming in here cleaning up for the Lord, you know. But anyways, my chat about today was, a gal brought up this conversation online to basically the crowd. She shared with all of us that when she was like 7 years old, and she was going to here. Let me turn this around so you don't have to look at me. I don't think that that's worthwhile. I want to look around at this beautiful place that we live in. All right, but anyways, what happens is she asked her Sunday school teacher, I guess she wanted to know how come it is that Mary, from the mouths of babes, why wasn't that Mary had a choice, whether or not she wanted to be impregnated by God, And in some circles, that's like a type of rape when, you're not even asked, you're just told this is what's going to be, and some circles brings up the idea of, oh, this could be like a test tube baby situation, and they try to bring the Anunnaki in, they're talking about how they manipulated us, and how it was that you could actually get a virgin to have birth without any procreation whatsoever. So, the whole idea was that she asked this very pertinent question and was kicked out of class. You're not allowed to ask these kind of questions, You're not allowed to take things out of what you read and what you hear. You can't ask the question of it. But what I'd like to say is, hey, look at me. I got all the answers, right? Don't I have all the answers sometimes? Well, this is a good a good friend of mine. She died. She's in that top one. I think she's in the whole one. She was weighed about 400 pounds. Where's she at? See this? Oh, what a wonderful thing. Now, see, a lot of these crypts that you see, when you see 2 or 3 up here, there's this one down here. This is down below. This one down here is Thomas. There's a couple of them that are down below. One of the lies that they push across in the cemetery here is that that because of the coral rock that we live on, that you can't bury people in the ground. Well, I'm going to show you all these people here. Look at this. Look at that. All of those are buried in the ground. No matter what's screwed up about them. But they are on the highest point of the island right now. So anyways, this is what it means. This is what the virgin birth has to do with. It doesn't take the male, if you want to take things literally, in order for a baby, this is an atheist view, and you can't, there's no way that you can make a baby without procreation or having the male sperm show up in there some way, somehow. Otherwise, it's just not, it can't happen, And so, when you're dealing with a myth, anything can happen, and especially when it's got God behind it, and God can do anything, especially when you are listening to mystical words of things, when you have to be born of a virgin, it's not just that. They say you have to be also born of water, you have to be born of fire. I mean, my God, how many borns do you got to get? When they also say that all you have to do is believe that Christ dies for you. And that's it, some kind of magical hocus pocus shit, I hope nobody took my bicycle. No, it's still there. But, so, what you got here, what you have here is a symbolic story that has more play with the way we think and what we do. If you understand that Elohim and the image of God is actually a male and a female, and that those represents a brain, the right and the left sides of our brain, and you'll see that there's your mother and father, there's Joseph and Mary, okay? There's this membrane between us, between them, that separates them. And one is that the carnal mind, the left side, is not subject to the laws of God, nor can it be, because it has to live. I have to live, I have to walk. There's a lot of things that this side does that the spiritual side can't possibly do, because you're only there in the spiritual side. When you finally find this side, you're only there for a little bit, but she really comes in as a house cleaner, and she makes sure that the insides of you are just as pretty as the outside. And the way you do that is connecting the two together, and the only way you can do that is through this Christ child. And it comes from inside of you, so it's really an extension of yourself. And so you would wind up being in a situation where you have to take over. You're the guy, you're the Christ child. You are the child between mother and father, your brain, your higher and lower conscious. But right now, and until you ever learn this, you're always feeding from the father side, the carnal mind. And it doesn't give a damn about the other side. It really doesn't. And a lot of people have been taught this. They don't give a shit about it. They don't even know about this other side. And the religious worlds, they claim that this is demonic. Don't go there. It'll release demons. Well, it does. It releases the demons out of you. It kills them. It destroys them. But they don't want you to go there. And so, this shows you this carnal mind is just like religion. They don't want you to go there. He doesn't want to go there. But we are asked to trick it, to trick it. So, she doesn't want him either. She wants him out. She wants him out of the picture. So she tricks him. She puts him out. Jacob gets sold off to a slave. This is a pimping story in the Bible where one of Jacob's wives gets him high, gets rid of him, or gets him high. No, for weed, she gets high. She's the one that's trying to get rid of him so that she can get there where she wants to go. That's the way the story is. And so everyone's trying to get up into that upper room. So you would see that the virgin mind is caused through meditation, and that meditation through the single eye brings about this birth of the child. And so there is no need to have any procreation, no sperm, except for the lifting mechanism of the Kundalini energy within you, all right? And the Kundalini energy is a female energy once you knock out the male side. So you're seeing that when Mary is either with a baby in her or outside of her, she's riding on a donkey. That donkey is our animal nature. It's being drug up the mountain with us. It has to go. And so, if you could picture yourself like having this big old shaggy dog, and it's just filthy dirty, absolutely needs a bath, and it's tough because that dog, you come pulling on, screaming on, trying to hold him, we're going to put you and give you a bath, dog, it's just biting and putting on the brakes, and as soon as you let it loose of him, he runs off, That's our mind, And in a way, you would say that it's an analogy, just like these stories. They're representing what the mind does. And so what you do is you trick that dog. I used to have a dog like that. I would trick him. And then I said, I know you're gonna like this. You're just gonna have to do it. Do what I tell you to do. That's the idea. Is you want to be in control of this animal side of you. And so one day, your right side. This is what you don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Okay, this is the story. In a symbolic form is that you don't really need, you don't need that male side, you need it down. And then you take it up on the other side, because once it gets this bath, it just flips back and forth, the animal is like, walking on sunshine and just enjoying love. He's just so happy he hasn't been, it's gonna get dirty again. That's the story. That's the story. The other thing is that you don't need anyone. This is something that an individual is supposed to do, right? So if it took two of you to be able to find God, you'll be all by yourself a lot. How can you ever be with God if it took two of you? When they say that you want to bring 2 or 3 people together, they're not meaning 2 or 3. Those 2 letters is 5. When you bring the 5 into one, God will be there. When you bring your 5, when you bring the skin under, when you bring them together, and this is in meditation, then you wind up, now you're in charge, and you're going to have this you're going to have this divine intervention, and that's what that means. All right. So this is all about the virgin mind. Being born of the virgin mind, and it's not so different that the sun in the sky begins its journey, its yearly journey, as it is born and exits from the sign of Virgo, and it starts its trip around the zodiac through the 12 lost tribes of Israel. And they are lost because no one knows them as the lost tribes. That's why they're lost. Everyone's searching. There's a black one here and a green people there, and and the original Jews and all this. It's crazy crap. That's what you do. That's the different stories that you can get when you try to make sense out of the outside of this book. But if you go on the inside, it just repeats itself over and over and over and over again. And that's how you know it's not a lie, because it repeats itself over and over and over and over again. The same thing. If not, how to get there, where to get there, what happens when you get there, what do you get, what don't you get, why, what's important about it, why should you do this? All of these things are answered inside there. All these things are questions that I can help you answer because I learned them because the Bible told me, And so, remember, this is an individual's quest, and that's why it's a virgin. It's you coming in and wanting to change. You've had enough. You want your life back. You're now going to become the animal. You're going to be the head of it instead of being the tail of this thing. That's the story, right? It says you want to. It's a woe to the person that is eaten by the lion. It's better that man eat the lion and become the lion than have the lion eat him and become its tail. So all of these are really wonderful little stories about wisdom. And the wisdoms are knowing the dark sayings, and dark sayings are abundant in our Bible. And a dark saying means it's hidden. That means it's not right out in sight. All right? And the word occult is tacked onto that, and it scares people. Remember, it's a very ignorant society that this was sprung on, and the society has not grown very much at all from this time. Because let me tell you, if you can believe in the virgin birth, talking donkeys and snakes and stuff like that, you'll believe anything that they toss at you. Literally, you'll believe anything. You're primed now to become a monster. That's how it works. But anyways, I hope the best for you, and I love you. And maybe you like this. Tell me if you like this this format. What do you think about that beautiful poinsettia tree behind me? All right. Well, anyways, best to you, and thank you. All right. And love. I love you.